Hello and welcome to watch my video about Kinetic Fusillade and different variations you can make. I have played this skill with four different variations. Vartis Ligue, all of which were self-use and not totems. So I'm not taking account for the most commonly taught variant of Kinetic Fusillade totems, which is potentially the best version still for uh, thinking about starting next league. So the basic function of Fusillade is that you use the skill and you are supposed to have the uh, projectiles hover over you until the duration which there is on the skill is over and they all get shot out at once. Up to 12 different hovering projectiles. However, what I think almost all of the builds have been doing is stacking less duration, most notably the less duration skill gem and different kind of less duration unigues and talent skill points or passive skills. But this is the variation with Elementalist, and there is at least two different ones. This is CI, as noted, and the build is basically using window of opportunity as anointment, and then traveling to hasty demise in here. This is a bit inefficient on terms of points because basically these four traveling points do not do anything for you. I take the less damage taken from damage over time. Yes, that's decent for this build as well. You can potentially get away with not using this node if you do not have things like onslaught or you don't get things like stolen souls or stuff like that. So memory maps can put you above your attack like the less duration works so that your attack time on the skill needs to be higher than the duration of the skill, which is shown here. It's 11 seconds. Yeah, 0.11 seconds. That is. So basically, if you want to use onslaught, it's possible on this kind of build that uses both reduced duration on both items, and then you have a anointment and you got take one of the nodes. So it is possible, but if you want to do something like Soul Eater from maps and like inspired learning or headhunter, you might end up having too much attack speed and it tricking your build in sense that you won't be able to shoot projectiles out as soon as you attack. So basically, I attacked every 0.2 seconds now, and the projectiles are shot out immediately. Now the reason they don't show up flying off is tornado, which is one of the things that makes this build a bit special, because tornado is a skill that creates a target that you can hit on your projectiles. The tornado is not shown on the part of building DPS at all because it's kind of a separate thing. Basically, your tornado is not doing any damage itself on this because it gets triggered too often. If you watch me holding down attack button, it only gets off when I run out of mana to attack. And the reason you use tornado for spell slinger is that the Fusillade has a special property where the damage from the projectiles is actually our area of effect damage. So the projectiles basically explode on impact and do damage around the skill or around the target. This means that tornado allows you to shotgun in terms of hitting tornado like this, and then hitting the boss as long as it's in this radius of the hit AOE. That means that if you have like 4 million DPS on part of building, plus you use tornado, if you position the boss or rare or whatever you are hitting in this sphere where the tornado is on top of it, you can potentially double your DPS. Now the problem with this is obviously that the radius is pretty small, even with AOE from Flame Golem and some AOE nodes. You don't necessarily get that much AOE on the skill. Interestingly, I'm expecting something out of the alternate skill version. If it increases the AOE, it might make this more viable, or if it's like increases the amount of chains or something, it might change stuff. Yeah. Okay. So the less duration is the most used variation. However, you can do another skill game, which works as well as the current one. Let's see if I can show it here. Yeah, I can show it here. So this one is, no. Yeah. So the good thing is if you don't have enough less duration, mostly because you can get the nodes or the uniquests early on the league, you can use dual setup variation where you alternate between the skills. This allows the other nodes projectiles to shoot off while you are loading. This seems to be pretty good way of leveling as well, because when you swap, you automatically usually shoot them out, especially if you use some less duration, you can still shoot them very, very fast. This also means that when your duration goes down, the time between the projectiles goes time between when the projectiles leave and when you need to attack goes down so much that as long as you are not holding down your button, you might still be able to shoot them off very rapidly, even if your duration somehow gets above your attack speed. This happens if you get Echoing Shrine or Acceleration Shrine. Both of those usually get me below 0.11 second attack speed on this character as well. So it doesn't necessarily make this like dual setup that much better, but I've leveled several characters to maps and even done maps with dual setup, and it works pretty well as long as you don't have other skills. Skills you need to have keybinds for. But yeah, that's the like tech for leveling up if you don't have the less duration. No, so the mechanics is pretty good. Now there is a multiple different variations of this build, and this is the elementalist version, which I think it's strongest overall. This breach keepers league on you get DPS, you have a chance to go CI, which gives you a lot of defenses. My ES isn't even that high because my gear isn't great yet. I mean, some of this is pretty good, but you will get so much better in trade league still. So basically, many of my gear isn't optimized well. This is a PPL character as well, so it was not a trade league character. My wand is just two tier 2 things and crafted crit and crit multi, which is the best. Attack speed isn't good because well, you don't want to get your attack time too close to the duration for multiple reasons. Okay, I can showcase how this build variation clears, I think. No. Overall, clear is very good. The projectiles shoot out to targets. It's technically auto-targeting, but the targeting is a bit bad if you don't have tornado. That's another reason to use tornado. You can show this with taking tornado. You lose the range, so the projectiles tend to shoot directly in front of you, even if you are not facing the mobs. Like here, they don't fly towards the mobs, even though I was right next to them because I was facing wrong direction. Tornado fixes this as well, so that's all another reason to use tornado, because when you use tornado, the tornado is the first thing that gets hit, and projectiles after that are chains of the first projectiles. Okay. Also, you can use lightning warp if you can fixing the mana for multiple things of this, which makes this very, very fast in many. Okay, I got acceleration shrine. You can see, yeah, it doesn't show how much you get attack speed, but generally it feels like it's supposed to be pretty low. Another problematic thing with this build is that you want to have sources of flat elemental damage most of the time, and it's done with multiple ground effects, which all have duration. So the crafts are great, but they are gone next league. So this will be. Very good clear for tier 16 maps, obviously. This is not even the highest DPS version I played this league with. The highest version is or was the daughter of Oshabi I had in Persia. But that is impossible in current version of the game, so I think the Elementalist might be the like best. Oh, I forgot to use my. I used the single target is decent, so I can do a boss with this version later on, and yeah, couple of minutes per map.
Hello.
And I was kind of
Farewell.
not going that fast anyways. Yeah. So what Elementalist gets is the golems, and I think it's good to mention the changes because Elementalist build is the biggest one that gets changes in the next league, and the golem buff effect is significant, but not significant enough to really impact your life on this build. You lose some years because of int as well, but like I said, I'm not very well optimized on this, so you can probably get like 10,000 years on next league as well, and well, pretty standard. Problem I think is gonna be that you lose the crafts, and the crafts are massive DPS. This one uses breathed enlightening or light, what is it called? And it gives you massive amount of flat lightning, and the damage is lucky, which is kind of big deal for DPS. It's this ground effect here. Then I used Tornado on this because it's pretty good on overall. There is other options as well. I'll show them later. Obviously, these are gone, so you lose a lot of like flat and uh, the lightning damage. But we get the possibility to have additional game from the next league mechanic, which will probably be almost as good. The good thing about Fusillade is that the game doesn't gain anything from corruption to 21. Quality is 4 per. No, it's like you need 5 quality for one more damage per previous projectile. So it can't go that high with corruption, and attack damage is 107.6 or something. It's at least the game client tells that it doesn't update at all. I have a character with level 2120 and it doesn't change compared to 2020, which is the problem. So basically good target for the next League US additional skill games, something like volley, the multiple projectile game, or well, there is ton of good games. This version doesn't use the sacred wisps, but basically it's for elementalist. It's pretty much the same as the increased critical damage support. Yeah. Also, the reason elementalist is kind of good is because you can use lightning warp without having to fit your gear with mana recovery or mana use reductions. So that makes it a bit better. Yeah. What else is changing? Yeah. The reach tree is changing, so getting these kind of ones might be not as easy. However, I think you can hope to gamble and just craft similar level weapons anyway. It's more expensive for like mid-tier weapons, I think. Like early weapons were very easy to do. You can gamble similar weapons like this as well on current game, but it will be harder next League. So that's kind of a negative besides losing the crafts. On the other hand, the elementalist node losing the 50% increased effect of buffs granted by golems isn't like significant enough. Like stone golem is just defenses, so that's some ES. And again, this is a bit of damage an hour. And well, ice golem is accuracy and crit, which is nice because you don't have to, like, I don't have a flat accuracy on my gear. Yeah, so elementalist doesn't need flat accuracy rating on your gear, but you can fix that with singlet D1 accuracy on any of your gear pieces. So that's not like significant. Even blind can have accuracy. And well, lightning golem is mana and attack speed, so that's kind of nice, but not significant. Like the flat mana regen is already pretty high considering your needs, so it's not gonna be impactful at all. So it's just a bit less defense and DPS, which you have plenty anyways. So yeah, but yeah, this is the Elementalist CI version with spell block CI. You get power charges from one node. Then I have one runecraft that I added after BPL. I had otherwise it's pretty much the same gear. You get one gear, one more projectile there. Then you can get this one, but it requires like a massive Rite of Hope or something because you don't have nodes. For Elementalist, you pretty much want something like block attack damage with shield and a block node and veteran defender node for defenses. This isn't as good as it could be because my shield is pretty bad. So that's another reason. Then I have a Storm Shroud for ailment immunity. You get it with the Yevel and well, seeing the suffix on your sticky envice. It's the best way of getting ailment immunity. There is plenty of different Watcher's Eyes you can use. I just get crit because this version doesn't have a good crit chance without something. You can use Anger as well, but Wrath is better on like most of the cases. And another good Watcher's Eye node for this is the precision node that gives you flash charges on crit. That can help you keep your flasks up. Then we have a inverted resistance values, and yeah, that's just life on mana on hit is very nice on this build as well. So life on hit is very nice too. So in the CI version, you can get some energy shield on hit. The Watcher's Eye node for discipline is great actually, because it complements your instant leads from this node. So you can get some great recovery with that. Then you take whatever nodes is accuracy is best, and just like stun is a problem for this. I haven't figured it out. I think you need I have a bleed flask instead of stun flask, and I think I should go try to get stun immunity because even with this and I have a crafted stun it still feels like I'm sometimes getting stunned too much. And for golems to not be that dangerous to go around, you kind of want Lunaris with chain avoidance. Yes, you can obviously go for Ralakis as well. You don't have to take the Bleed Flask. It's just like somewhat safer to have a Bleed Flask, I think. Yeah. Nothing very special. The 3 is pretty much the same. You take charge duration, and then you get frenzy charges on this build from this Mark Mastery. And then from endurance charges on. Hello, I'm recording some material for a video about this build. Lunacris, if you want to know. I'm streaming it, so I'll edit it online later. Yeah. I have 4 different characters with the same build. This is second version of the character, which doesn't work anymore. So it's the daughter of Osabi. And this was by far the best version of the Kinetic Fusillade builds. Let's see. Yeah, the 3 is very similar to that of the Elementalist. You take these less duration and reduces duration nodes here, and then you take Took. You used anointment from the other side and Perpet timepiece. You don't need I have a full inventory as well. You didn't need the ring when you're going with the reduced duration. If you have the nodes on the middle, I could have this on slot as well. And unlike the other version, it had 5,000 life or so, and some spell block and block from shield. I used ailment immunity from this had a Gastral Vision. I think I have it somewhere. Yeah. Basically, you take this node for additional projectile and the power of charges generation node. This is very good for bossing because otherwise it's only power charge and kill. Then charge duration for the. Oh yeah, this doesn't have the implicit. I had I had accumulator one, which is great. It isn't guaranteed frenzy and endurance charge uptime though. It is, however, very close. So this kind of one is definitely possible in the next league as well. Obviously, it's pretty expensive. I paid 17 divines for this in the Persia, and that was with divines being, fracturing orbs being 1.5 divine. So it should be maybe a bit more even. However, it's like top end of equipment. The prefix isn't best. You can use spell damage instead, which is better, and the penetration though. So yeah, basically Raygun hit for hit based builds, and then you can use anger. It's slightly better because I have a anger watcher side, and this version had the crit flash charge and critical hit as well. Yeah. And then I had a lot of meaning for evasion rating because evasion increased your damage. This one had 18 million DPS before taking account for the tornado doubling it. I doubt we can get the similar level of DPS that easily next league, but I think 10 is definitely doable on the other versions as well. So yeah, doesn't work anymore, but this definitely was the best version I tried, and it's very similar in many ways than the others. It also in a way it also uses flame wall and not sigil, because sigil needs more duration support to help it stay up. So it basically was just two skills for clearing, and then you used craft for bosses. And it had overcharged sinners, which gives you even more damage. Problem is that you don't have enough defenses on this. Like it was, even though I had 95% evasion chance and suppressed capped, and some block, and obviously resistances were also capped when I was correct with ailment immunity. You still don't. Oh yeah, I was also a stun immune with the flask. So basically, it was pretty good character. It's dead now though. Okay, and then I have a multiple versions of assassin actually. Those were poison assassins, and then I have a regular assassin, which is very similar to my Daughter of Osabi build. This doesn't have gear because this was also a BPL character from the late League BPL that we did, and it didn't get enough gear to, well, suppression capped, for example, or chaos resistance capped, or like my one isn't really that great yet. It's pretty meh. Like it's decent overall, I'd say. And obviously you can have quality as well in to increase attack speed, for example, like the other character had. The assassin has definitely good like quality next league. I can show a map with it as well. I have a beach map. No, let's do Ashen Buddhist Shrine then. Basically very similar. On the assassin, you to take the power charge generation node, it's probably the best. That way you get additional power charge, and you can free your mastery war for spellslinger that way. And basically, well, more crit chance and more crit multiplier for stuff. Cooling strike overall very good. I think the more crit multiplier against enemies that are not on low life is better overall, because cooling strike reduces the amount of life the boss mobs have when they are on low life. So it's 50% of the life pool versus 40% of the total life pool. So unless you are in Fersia with the enrage on low life, probably want this side of the dual node, then you can take this, which gives you some damage. It's 25% damage for a single target, and it gives you decent amount of defenses for multiple targets like maps. Next, the reflect node is useless now, but they will change it to be damage can be reflected next league, which means you can do reflect stuff as well, which is probably the good thing. And then you have a choice between this node, which makes you immune to all damaging elements, and you can recoup some of your life if you get hit by physical damage. However, I went for elusive because this gives you additional avoidance and crit immunity, which is nice. Also speed, which is great. Other nodes are not that great. You could use this too, but it's kind of 2 skill points. Sorry, it's like it's like good, but you can easily gear it out. Like accuracy isn't a problem. You can get a single accuracy. Notice that's not it. Yeah, this has tier 1 accuracy. That's enough to cap you. With something like the accuracy on this, it's overcapped as well. And the mark on hit isn't that great because you can get it otherwise as well. That's useless for this, and these are the poison nodes that are not used on the hit-based build. I have Heart of Flame for additional defenses. This is not that tanky. Also, like the Daughter of Osabi build, you can have a only the Torpid Timepiece because you have enough. This anointment is golden oil. I had old oil, but I never need it, so I use this one instead for endurance charges. That way I can generate frenzy charges as well. And then you kind of just take damage and so on. This is very like simple build on those. Let's see. Yeah, definitely doable. Oh, this assassin version has the problem of mana. You don't get like I have 21 mana dragon compared to 128 on elementalist. So you want Elrond crafts for using lightning warp. You don't need it otherwise. If you go shield charge, you can use something else. Like I have plenty of mana for everything else. This is slightly worse DPS than the elementalist, mostly because the gear is worse. It's also not as tanky, but that's something that you will fix with the gear as well. Not necessarily fully. I think the elementalist will just get tankier overall. And us know that we will do pretty decent. Like said, your single target can be pretty good on Assassin too. You are not that tanky though, so it's downside. I'm hoping that next Lego mechanism give you something more. But I don't know. Still very viable for tier 16s though. Like I don't see any problems why this build can be played on next league on Assassin specifically. You can also do the bullshit. No, you can also do reflect with the build if you go assassin, which I think is good because then you do you do more different maps map rolls. You pretty much have elusive always fun. It also varies your movement speed a bit. And if you go elusive, you don't necessarily need flying warp. I played for shield charge with shield charge for a while. This pool as well.
Dance with the flame.
Not as fast as the elementalist, sadly. Their difference is noticeable, and well, I did beyond boss as well, which adds some time. I can do tier 17s on both this and the elementalist version. Not necessarily that safely though. So, well, next league it's interesting to see how they change. Okay, so I have one more version. I have a multiple ones of these actually. I'll be right back. I'm back. Some stuff to do on the side. Try to finish this video before the league ends, so it's fine. Yeah, this is the board version, and this is different from the rest of the Kinetic Fusillade builds that I showed earlier. It's Poison, Assassin, and while this is not actually that much weaker than the builds I showed earlier, it has some differences. Like one of the things is that I don't have as much attack speed. I only have less duration support, and I haven't used the uniquest that you need. Also, I haven't anointed this this one. I know it's here, hasty demise. Yeah. And on the other hand, you can use stuff like Gil's Harmony, not necessarily for this build. You can use the Warped Timepiece instead. You can get Cupped Crit on Poison as well. The reason I'm using this one is because Perfect Agony. So if you don't have enough crit rating, then you don't do poison damage on the things. The new Assassin node, all damage can poison from hits is what this is based. And obviously you get a lot more poison damage because you also get poison duration from every hit. And you hit, well, 6 times on every attack. That's roughly, no, that's roughly 24 times or so per second. If you upgrade your attack speed and get the restoration, you can get it even higher. Then on top of that, you can get like, well, yeah. This build has Letter because of Shadow Blood. It makes you not take any damage from ailments, and because I use Tempest Shield, shock is not issue, and then you have freeze, and it's where I have I don't have a chill immunity on this. You can have chill immunity on your boosts instead of onslaught. That's another thing. Then you also basically don't care that much about the crits because you can take Mistfalker and be crit immune. So basically, only thing you get from ailments is like Scorch, which you can have enough resistances to deal with, and Chill, which this version isn't doing. You can obviously use Ancestral Vision or the other Storm Shroud level to gain ailment immunity as well. You basically want some poison chance here and here. That's just cause resistance, I think, and the 30 poison damage. And you can get block and suppression capped. Then this node, this is actually pretty good node, but I need the anointment for that. And well, I don't want to, or I didn't have time to reroll my gear for that. Now, poison version is more expensive at the same gear level than the hit-based version. I think you can get it almost as good. The betrayal thing makes you, well, it makes you deal a significantly more damage with poison. Like I got 37 base and then it's quality to 44. You can get it to, is it 48 if you get perfect. After all, obviously it's expensive to use because you lose the resistances on it. And well, then other gear is mostly rare to give you suppression life and stuff like that. My wand isn't that good either. You can get better results with elemental damage nodes. Physical damage is good for poison though, so that's one of the pluses of the poison. You can use Twitchell with poison version for leveling. I did that at least a couple of times, and it's fine on the maps and even low tier maps. Then you can swap to something more elemental damage when you get this node. Then you can take this is probably the last node or this one, depending what you like. This is tankier than the hit-based assassin version. Then you can use Asenat's gloves for better clear because you are poison. So you probably want some explosions. They make life easier. You don't use Assassin's Mark because you go dual course with Whisper of Doom and Despair and Temp Chains are overall better courses for poison damage. I have too many buttons here. Chainwall is good and Sigil is good. I don't have as much less duration on this as the other versions. Problem is that you need Wither, which increases the amount of sockets or other things on your tree. So I use Barage totems. You can use Kinetic Fusillade totems as well if you want. But I think Barage is slightly better for rally with her. Like Fusillade totems might do a bit more DPS actually. And then I have Unholy Mind from Sin's rebuild, which is not something you get in SSF at least. So this, even though like this is not easy to, well, it's relatively easy to get in SSF, and you don't need ungils as I said, and Asenats is just quality of life I think. But basically Sins are well clusterable for crit is what you need for Unholy Might basically for poison because you want the Wither to be up. And the problem is that less duration nodes or reduced duration nodes reduce duration of Wither as well, which means that this like instant shooting projectiles aren't as good for this as they are for others. Yeah, let's not to avoid poison. It's fine. You want accuracy on this build as well. I don't think I have it. It's not necessarily for mapping, I think. You want it on high tier bosses at least. Clear is a bit worse than hit based, which is why I swapped it. Also, I don't use the tornado, which would make it slightly better on well, it works for poisons as well if you can get it done. I really wanted to make this like a version as well in BBL, but like I said, the gear scaling is higher for similar levels of damage, so it's kind of not a reason to use it over the hit-based version. It is tankier though. This is a hardcore character that I read on tier 16 or something. So you can maybe play it on hardcore too. Also, one of the differences between my characters is that this poison version and the elementalist version didn't use sacred wisps. They aren't great for a poison version, I think. You can use them, but it's like bit of a like it's not like obviously better than the other versions. But yeah, basically doable if you want. I think if you don't have added chaos damage or stuff like that, it's potentially better. Let's know that the clear is slightly worse. This is also the first version I played, so it's not as good as the later ones on that regard either. Technically, the DPS is the same, and unlike the hit DLC, this doesn't use the drafts as much. Like you don't lose that much DPS. You can still get 4 million poison DPS on this. And here is about that. My wand isn't great. I could easily get better if I poured some currency into it. Obviously, the problem is the Wither, which is kind of one of the reasons why poison builds are maybe not as used. Also, don't have and late like your poison duration is pretty nice, but takes time for you to stack it up. Like a minute later than my assassin.
Farewell.
Or hit-based assassin. However, this is significantly more tanky than the hit-based version. Mostly because of the more life nodes, and you can like life and hit is very good on this as well. Also, you have a suppression cap and so on. And then change is adding another layer as well as Lead Shade. Like Lead Shade is very good for this build if you take the Shadow Lord, basically. Makes you significantly more tanky. As well as Wind Dancer, obviously. You get decent amount of evasion and then block from shield. So your block is good. Now I'll log into the Elementalist and do a boss last. So I guess the pros for this build is that it has good clear. It has still pretty good single target, and it is fast. Especially the assassin is fast if you use elusive node, and the elementalist is very fast if you do lightning warp. Gun it is not tankiest build. I did like tier 16s in hardcore without issues. The poison version and technically it is like this CI version can do tier 17s without dying as well, and the assassin can get enough gear to do them as well. I haven't just fixed it. Obviously, you have enough DPS to clear the tier 17s in the current game, but we don't know how good or bad they are on the next game. So next league, so I will not say anything about them. I have an Echo of Reverence, but I guess I could Well, we can maybe do that. No, it's there are all kind of. Let's do this one. Suppress this AOE fast hit. It's fine, I think. You can get Flame Flask as well. Also, one of the things that I didn't mention, the cons are that your Sigil of Power and well, this has craft still, but Flame, well, you have to position the boss for Tornado to get the most out of the DPS, which is kind of annoying. Obviously, since we lose the drafts next league, it's easier already.
Your absurd defiance ends here, hatchling.
We will win this together.
Yeah, also Sigil needs that more duration support if you want to use it.
Incineration.
Oh,
Annihilation.
this one can kill me.
Thousand suns.
Let's see how good I am with the balls.
You do not have the strength, hatchling.
That may be, but I am not alone.
Oh,
No, I won't
not as good as I wish. Well, I must make it a bit harder as well.
Incineration. Annihilation. Disintegration.
Yeah, pretty good thing that I'd say. Not like really good, but still like. Obviously, this didn't have any. Well, the less AOE is annoying multiplier because of the tornado, but not otherwise it was no damage, no tank mods on the boss. But yeah, it's somewhat tanky. Recovery is very nice. You get leads on both CI and non-CI versions. And obviously, because you hit so much, like this build hits 6 times 5, 30 times per second or so. If you are actually you hit 60 times if you hit Tornado as well, because of the chain on the Fusillade. So that's if you got 2 AS per hit, that's 60 times 2 ES per second, so 120 ES per second from instant. And then you get the leads on top of that, which it's even more. Obviously, if you get the ES on hit this discipline watcher side, that's great for recovery, but I think it's fine enough on currently. It's kind of funny because you only take Charlotte's Oaths for the Golem, and it's not that much. It's 262 ES per second for this node. So basically, if you really want, you can take it out. Obviously, you can use social flask like I do for Cool's immunity and well, Cool's immunity and some damage. So that's thing. Oh, and yeah, the CI version is lock capped almost, or stuff. You can get it to 75 on both, I think, but you need to tinker with your gear more. I was looking at some levels and so on, but I just find it not worth it, because 65 is more than enough with the flash up. You can get the flash up time almost 100% during maps and close to 100 if you are doing bosses. But not really because of the, even with the precision watcher side, it doesn't go up to that much necessarily. You can get it very high though. Yeah. Thanks for watching. I'll be editing this live food again to make a video, hopefully with less pauses and a bit more certain content. Overall, very decent build for a raid league West, and maybe you can do at least the poison version is doable in SSF too. Assassin you can probably play in SSF too. You don't really need warped time piece before like high tier maps. Even then you can like get around with the golden oil anointment. This one when you go here, and then when you get good warped time piece, you can just switch to it. Like the problem with these less duration Unigues is that they both give attack speed, which is negative stat if you want to stack your reduced duration. Yeah. Oh, the elementalist thing is that you only get damage from shock. You can take stuff like the new or well, the old breach node or so something. You can go for Argus as well. This doesn't make you reflect immune at all. And then you can, but I used shield because less damage. It mobs are much slower, and then ignite for a lot more defenses from the physical conversion. Not that it works. The early League didn't work the way it was supposed to. But yeah, basically Elementalist is kind of a generalist ascendancy, even without the golem buff. It's still gonna be good for this. And another thing for next league is the Zion. The Zion is possible. You can go attribute stacker, which is working concept as well. It doesn't get as many DPS as this version, but it can get significantly more tanky, I think. And the second is the new reliquarian thing. You can get the Sacred Wisp. Let's see if I have it. You can get the Sacred Wisp node that doubles your wisps. So I should have some. Yeah. So it doubles your maximum and summoned wisps. So this Sacred Wisp support will be much better than either volatility or crit damage. Basically, you want to drop Volley or Trinity because these three are the core of this elemental damage build. Then less duration you need for Fusillade. So volatility isn't as good without the look damage rolls anyways. And crit damage depends on your gear. I don't have enough crit multiplier in my levels or my gear, so Wisp is not as good as the crit multiplier. That's the only reason. Only reason I use crit damage over Sacred Wisps. Yeah. Okay, but thank you for watching and hope you enjoy my videos. Yeah. Bye bye. Mm.